Did you guys know that every person in South Korea suddenly becomes at least a year younger after they just changed a very simple law?
Oh, they're not counting the zero anymore? Or oh, okay, that's what it is.
They're taking into account time spent in the womb.
A lot of Asian cultures do that. Like some Chinese people will do that too, where it's like when you're born, you're technically one.
Really?
But then
I thought because they didn't have the number 0.
maybe, I don't know.
They don't?
Nah, because
No, I don't think so.
I thought that's how they did it.
How do they explain how many zeros they don't have?
They go, we have 0 zeros.
We don't have the number 0. Really? None.
No 0.
Yeah, because even when I was a kid, my mom would be like, oh, you're 5 or 6. If Chinese people talk to you, you're 6, but in America, you're 5.
Yeah.
And then, so I think it's like a pretty common Asian thing, I feel like. Because I know Koreans do it too.
Do you guys do that shit?
I've always thought about this because I'm like, aren't I 19 months older than I am?
Did they count? I think they count like the day you're born as the first year.
Isn't it in America until you're actually born, you're not even a human?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're born, it's a 0, and then your first month out of the womb.
You're 1 month.
Yeah.
Inside the skin,
Yeah.
you're not a person.
And you can't
way. No.
you can't be murdered.
Nope.
No, you can't vote either.
Even at the last moment when you're going through labor, unless the baby's out.
But then if the baby goes back in, then you gotta start all over.
That's a whole fucking thing.
It's fucking wild, dude. What the fuck is happening?
So yeah, South Koreans, they just changed this law. So now, like, it takes effect, I guess, last Wednesday. So now people are like, oh, I guess I'm a different age now.
They're younger. I think everyone's younger by
Younger.
1.
I mean, I guess no one's gonna complain about that, right?
That is pretty crazy because it's such a deep-rooted cultural thing. So now it's like a big shift in culture. Like, oh, we're not gonna recognize that tradition that we used to do.
I think there's a lot of things like that because, like, child mortality back in the day was common. So, like, you know how Koreans do the 100-day?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like if they were gonna survive, the chances are more likely after their 100-day. So then they don't really celebrate. So on the 100th day, they kind of have like a birthday party celebration
For the baby, like
for the baby.
a big one.
Yeah, but I think before that they don't really like get too excited, and it's rooted in like child mortality.
They don't even make eye contact with them.
But that's the 100 days almost like a bigger event than their first year birthday. It's almost like they made it to 100, and then they like have all the like gifts and stuff, and they dress the kid up in all this like fancy like clothes.
That's cute.
It was longer for Japanese. It was like I want to say like 8 or 10. That's you know that movie
8 years old?
Yeah, because you know Spirited Away and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So the thought behind it is, well, because kids would die back then. Like, my aunt was like, yeah, the reason why we had so many siblings is because, like...
Kids die now, Joe.
A lot of us wouldn't survive.
So they didn't want to get their hopes up until they're, like, pretty sturdy.
Yeah, and then, like, they believe that kids are connected to the spirit world. So that movie Spirited Away, the concept is also, like, that kid could see all the ghosts and shit, and the parents can't. Because they're connected to the spirit world until they're a certain age. So they're like halfway in that world, halfway in our world. And then, so once they shed that, and then they get past a certain age, they're like, oh, now you're a human.
Dude, I need to watch that movie.
Do you think, like, in Asia, are they kind of upset that, like, a traditional thing is being changed?
I don't know. I don't know how they would feel about it. Because I also feel like Koreans are pretty, like, receptive of, like, Western culture. And they probably are doing it because it's, like, this globalization that we have.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just all kind of speak on the same terms.
Because it's easier?
Yeah, and it seems like they're pretty, like, they receive stuff well. You know, like, they just westernize really well. So I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like no one's using the lunar calendar for their official birthday anymore. Everyone's on the Gregorian, like the Western calendar.
My mom's fucking tripping all the time.
Yeah. She gets the dates wrong.
Well, she keeps celebrating the fucking birthday that's not on a license. I'm like, bitch, that's not even the one on the license.
Yeah.
You go to fucking, like, if you go to, like, BJ's, try to get a free Pizookie, and you show them their license, they'll be like, what the fuck, bitch?
Yeah.
Fucking tripping.
Yeah.
Celebrating, like, 2 months early.
Unless she's at BJ's Arcadia.
So it's that far off.
It could be, like, anywhere from, like, 30 days to, like, 60 days off, depending.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
They're just, but you're never gonna change old people. Old people are just gonna do whatever they're gonna do.
Your mom's committed, bro. She's committed to the game.
A little bit too committed, maybe.
Yeah. How come you don't fucking celebrate your birthday a couple months earlier?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a buddy who, so he had a miscarriage. Him and his wife had a miscarriage. I think two. It was like twins, right? And then they were basically, like when we knew they were gonna have a kid, and it was like things were going good, we were gonna throw them a shower, like to surprise them. But then like they kind of caught wind a little bit, and they're like, "Hey, like don't throw us a shower because we don't want to jinx it."
Oh shit, that must be tough.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That
Isn't
was
there like a
ouch.
rule of thumb where you wait a couple months until you announce stuff?
Yeah, I think like 3 months.
3 months, right?
Even inside, anything
just
could
don't
happen.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so scary.
But yeah, I mean, he's very like, it's weird too because like the miscarriage that they had, it was like a 5-month-old pregnancy, and so like,
Damn.
yeah, and so one time I was like busting his balls. I was like, dude, what's with your fucking dad wallet? I got everything in your goddamn wallet, and he's like, those are the medical bracelets from my kids that died. I was like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Is he a funny guy? Does he have a
Yeah,
good sense of
yeah,
humor?
yeah.
Okay.
He's fucking with me for sure.
Oh, no.
You were just like, oh.
Goddamn. Don't you love being that guy?
Oh, dude, and he had that wry grin on his face too. He's like, I know I got this son of a bitch. Got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You just don't think about shit like that.
No, yeah.
I feel like we're a part of this generation that don't really see death every day. Like it's not that common. Cause like when I spoke to like my grandma when she was alive, like the way she talked about it, it just seemed like, oh yeah, people just died, you know, like all the time, like kids, everybody, all the time. And then she worked at a hospital as an administrator, so it was just like super normal, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it's actually more common for, you know, it to be difficult during, you know, pregnancy, and then the kid even like gets birth, after birth, like surviving through childhood was difficult, and then beyond that, right? But then now it's like it's rare, or like you just don't hear about it, or like it's kind of
Goes away quick because we don't want to talk about it really.
That's what it is.
that's what
yeah.
it is, yeah.
And life expectancy's up, but also back in the day, like I remember my mom saying just a lot of things were just shruggable. Like, oh, you have this illness? That's it. I mean, there's no treatment. Not in this island. You know what I mean? Like, depending on where you are.
Yeah, back in the day, you catch a cold, you die. Now you got antibiotics and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, 2 months ago, so I lost my grandma, right, 2 months ago. And then Nikki was giving me so much shit that day. She's like, how many grandmas you got? And I was like, she's like, I have one. And she's like, you know, totally give me shit and stuff. But then,
How many grandmas you got?
yeah, and she was giving me shit all day. She's writing me
Puts a
all day
tally.
about it. How many grandmas you got? I'm like, none.
It's a counter.
Yeah.
Steve versus Nikki grandmas.
Then she talked a little too much shit, I think, because her grandma's about to die like any minute right now.
Ooh, karma.
Talk too much.
for it. What's your angle that you're playing then?
Oh, I'm gonna be like, hey, Nikki, how many grandmas you got today?
Ooh. You're like,
Answer
well,
honestly. Don't be a bitch.
That response always grants a bitch answer.
Yeah.
That's a fun game to play.
It's pretty fun.
answer now.
That's how we deal with anything is through humor.
Yeah, that's
so
the best.
Yeah,
I love doing that shit.
it's the best.
Because what else are you gonna do?
What else are you gonna do?
Just be sad about it the whole time?
Yeah. She's like, how many grandmas do you think you have out of 10? I'm like, 0 grandmas.
That's one of my best friends. One of my best friends since like I was 5. His dad died recently, and then I was like, well, at least your dad had a pretty good life. Like he's a good guy, like a super stand-up dude, church leader, everything. We're like, yeah, at least he never did anything wrong. And then my friend's like, yeah, at least he didn't molest anyone. At least I think.
Oh my god.
Because you can't always be too sure.
Especially church leaders. That's what
I got all the power, baby.
That's his son saying. It's like, at least I think he didn't.
Yeah.
I love the moment with Anthony when he's like, yeah, well, at least, you know, your dad clicked the bell and he's a subscriber. And I'm like, my dad's dead.
I remember.
Dead.
so good.
I remember.
And Anthony was like, you should bring it up more to Anthony anytime.
For a second, I wasn't sure who you were talking about, but then I realized you're talking about regular Anthony, not cool
Regular
Anthony.
Anthony. Yeah. Not cool Anthony. He would never. I would never do that.
Yeah, Cool Anthony would never even sit.
We have a tech here named Anthony, so we call him Cool Anthony.
He's the chillest Anthony here.